am in Batu Pahat, Johor, one of the worst hit districts impacted by the floods over the last few days. As of this morning, 50,000 people have been displaced from their homes in Johor, and of this number, 40% or 20,000 people are from Batu Pahat.
Well, let's see how this semester turns out to be. Week 2. We were introduced to doing our reflective vlog this week by Dr. Zainal, and also in this week I volunteered to do a reflection on a chapter we studied in the previous class for one of my subjects. I find it rewarding because the lecturer praised me and I managed to work out 5 times a week despite the uncertain weather these days. Now this is one hectic week. Had extra chores this week as the 14th of April 2023 was Tamil New Year. Hence this day has its own importance. One thing I love about festivals is the food served. In an Indian household, if there is any festival, usually only vegetarian food will be served, and so did my home. It was finger-licking good. It was a tiring week because I had a talk to attend that was compulsory for one of our assignment, and in conclusion from the week, I learned to always have gratitude in myself. Week 4 it is. Well, hi there. Well, this week started off with the first presentation about Solam project, which is one of the initiative by the Ministry of Education, and I am starting to have the feeling that online classes are a little boring and there's nothing much that I can do except chores, work out and study. But so yeah, just like that, another week ended. No matter what you go through, every week boring or interesting, everything matters. And week 5. So it has been a week full of birthdays. Since 22nd of April was the beginning of Eid Mubarak, we had only one class conducted for the week, which was English Development and Engagement, where Doctor did a quick checkup on our proposal progress, and I must say he was quite pleased with ours. Speaking of birthdays earlier, the first birthday celebration was for my aunt. We had a beautiful dinner at Bangsa, an authentic North Indian cuisine that was finger-licking good. I could say I stepped out after months staying at home that day. The next birthday bash was a surprise for one of my best friend's mother. It was quite exciting as it surprised her mother and was overwhelming with tears of happiness. Overall, it was really a good week. Week 6. This month is somehow special to me. It was the last day of April. My family had a small gathering at my place to celebrate once again my aunt's birthday. It's like that May came in and me and the girls went out for a last minute movie date night. It was one of the trending movies, Evil Dead Rise, and I must say it was not scary but too gore. Then we headed to a mama restaurant, which was a must. The next day was my birthday, but honestly I was surprised by my friend with a cake, and that week me and my mom headed to the temple before I left to hostel. Week 7 was the mid-semester break, and the end of the week was where I was heading back to Johor for my physical classes, and surprisingly I got the house next to my old one, which was at the 4th floor, and that was exhausting, especially when I had to carry the luggage. I bid farewell to my parents and came back to my room and got things arranged and cleaned. Thankfully I got the same housemates that I preferred from last semester, and I must say I was very, very thankful for that. Getting ourselves comfortable before preparing for the next day of class, which was physical classes after literally 3 months. Well, fingers crossed, hope for the best. It's the first day of physical classes, and I must say everyone was in shock. And for EDE that week was group consultation, whereas doctor checked on every group's process and gave in suggestions. I would say it was quite a tiring week. It was legit all about Solam project because that was the exhibition week. But I still had time to visit my semester 1 French lecturer, where I got her a little gift of gratitude for teaching me and helping me out during tough times. This week was a little bit of a hustle And like I said, there were preparations for Sulam project and execution there. We visited the SK Pekanbaru Mua on 24th of May. This project is called Sulam, which was initiated by the government on social services to be practiced by the university students. And overall, we did have a good tiring week. Week 10, this was all about chasing deadlines. There were lots of work being executed this week. I had to arrange back-to-back rehearsals for the on-stage performance so that the cast group will get a hold of the drama and live their characters better. I then had to arrange for the interviews to be taken on the selected foreigners for the video documentary. We interviewed 3 foreigners, and I must say they were very nice and cooperative. Listening to their stories made us all feel a little sad along the way. Class this week was not held as we were instructed to carry out our preparation instead for both our video documentary and on-stage performance. Nevermore, my housemates and I went on a little house hunting for our next semester, as we will not be provided with a hostel. Thus, we had to find our shelter for the next semester onwards. It was not easy as there were so many things to be considered. From all of this, I even had time to keep myself productive and fit by playing a game of badminton 4 times a week, and I must say it did feel way better mentally, although it was tiring physically. Week 11, there was a long weekend due to His Majesty the King's birthday on the 5th of June, and classes on the 4th were cancelled. To keep myself productive aside from assignments, I did some chores and played badminton with some friends. After the weekend, classes were on as usual. Students of the Year 1 BP even had a photo shoot session on the 6th of June in the evening at Dewan Sultan Ibrahim. We were all excited, to be honest. That Wednesday, the class was conducted as usual at Gallery Ilmu instead of the faculty, as a memo was given to not conduct classes at the faculty due to building instability. On the same day after EDE, we had a special lecture from lecturers from University of Surabaya, Indonesia, on statistics and HRM subjects. I must say it was quite an experience learning from other lecturers. At night then, my housemates and I went to this marketplace located at the marching field of the university. There were various types of food, games, and there was even a haunted house. I must say we did enjoy ourselves that night. Week 12, the struggle is real. This was it. The week filled with execution of our assignments, dues on quizzes, tests. This was the week of our on-stage performance. From back-to-back rehearsals and disagreements from particular members and last-minute changes of script, I must say it was a good execution at the end. I must say every group did their best of their performance, and I was mind-blown. Dr. Zainal was really impressed and satisfied with every group's performance, and we did get extra applause thanks to the reach of our acting. And I must say, I really would miss this group despite the disagreements, dissatisfactions, arguments. But at the end of the day, I was really proud of my group for executing such wonderful talents and for holding their characters very well. Kudos to my group. After all that work, me and my housemates decided to take the weekend off and decided on playing games. Then we watched a horror film with Raymond accompanying us. We literally slept at 5 a.m. that day. Week 13. Hang in there. Presentations. Oh my. There were some classes that were to be our last ones. Oh, and not to forget, I also attended the EDE Fiesta on that Wednesday of the week, and I must say I was amazed by the performance of the chosen groups. Kudos to them. It was the same routine most days, and that very weekend I also attended a videography workshop held by the videography co-curriculum. It was a compulsory for me because my housemate was from that club. I must say I've always loved editing and taking random shots of nature itself. Guess what? We also won first place for the video we created based on the title given, which was Nature. The week ended well as I managed to go to the temple at Kluang, and it felt so peaceful after some time. Fingers crossed, we're almost there. Week 14. After a month, I was finally going home for a short break. Due to Hari Raya Haji, classes were cancelled and some were online, so most of us packed our bags home. I legit felt so happy going back this time to home as things were getting heavier day by day mentally for me. assignments, quizzes, disagreements with housemates, everything was just getting a little bit heavier for me, and it felt good to see my family back. First thing as I arrived home, had to pick up my nephew because he is literally my healer. But hey, there was no saying goodbye to assignments just yet. I had dues coming up, so I had to submit my assignment. And just like that, it was time to get back to reality, which meant back to campus. Heavy heart and mind, but we are all here for a reason, and nothing comes easier in any ways. Week 15, the final week. This is it, the final week before my study break and finals. This was the week of every assignment due, last minute quizzes and presentations. We concluded our ED class with a reflection of our group activity and spoke on the problems faced and how we overcame them. These 14 weeks was not easy. There were too many downs than the ups, but I have been grateful with myself and the beautiful souls around me for not losing the grip despite going through depression and having anxiety attacks. I am glad I did not lose myself yet. The only thing I remind myself daily is I will remain focused on my goals. Even I have a moment of difficulty, I will not give up. I know success comes with consistency. I know that I will make it. Things will get better. No problem or challenge will stop me. Everything I deserve is coming my way.